let's do a little bit of a warm-up today. So we'll go ahead and start facing the sides of our mat. We can turn the toes out or angle the feet parallel to the edges. Take a moment to align those hips, knees, and heels, and we'll inhale into the five-pointed star. Exhale as we gently bend the knees, sinking into it. Just flowing with our breath here, finding some moonflowers, drawing shoulder blades together, nice neutral spine. And then switching to some sunflowers, sweeping those hands down, always checking that the knees don't get out over the toes. Feel the hips warming just a bit here. Stabilizing through the core. Let's find one more. We'll meet back in our five-pointed star. Take a moment to bring the palms together. Exhaling through, feeling our nice stable base as we press into the four corners of our feet, long through the spine, shoulders sink down, and then turning back into the top of our mats. A little bit of a chair flow here. Check that we align those feet right under the hip bones. Inhaling mountain, exhaling as we sink into chair, checking that we can see the toes, long through the spine. Back to mountain. Exhale, chair. Modifying the arms however we need to. And then maybe adding that twist as we sink into chair, opening to the right. Knees stay aligned. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling to the left. Using that core to keep us nice and stable. Finding one more. Our inhale, we lift into a nice tall mountain, drawing through the arms, and then plug those shoulders into place as we exhale, swan diving into forward fold. Checking in here, lots of bend in the knees, hinging through the hips. So we protect the low back. Inhaling back to mountain. Exhaling to chair. To mountain. To forward fold. Mountain. Chair. And then we'll hang out in that forward fold for just a moment. Checking in. Starting into a little sun salutation here. We'll modify as we step back with the right leg. Feel free to drop that knee, curling the toes under, always checking our alignment that the front knee doesn't get above or in front of that ankle. And then stepping back as we find down dog. Feeling free to drop into all fours if we need to here. Finding alignment, hands and shoulders, hips and feet. The inhale, we'll draw forward into our plank. Can drop those knees for kneeling plank if we need to. Slowly lowering down, hovering if we can. Lifting into a nice baby cobra here. Shoulders drawn back. Chin tucked in. Releasing to the floor. Pressing back up through that kneeling plank if we'd like. Moving to down dog or maybe all fours. Right knee comes forward. Lunge or low lunge on the opposite side. Long through the spine. Hips shifted towards the front of the room. Inhaling as we step back into that forward fold. Lifting to mountain. Nice and long. Exhaling to chair. Back into mountain. Swan diving into our forward fold again. Starting with that left leg as we step back. Finding your lunge or modification. Down dog or all fours. Nice long spine here. Inhaling into our plank or our kneeling plank. Strong through that core. Slowly lowering down, lifting into baby cobra, or maybe rolling the feet as we press the earth away, lifting into up dog. Releasing if we want to roll those feet back over, returning to our down dog. Stepping the left foot back in. Inhaling as we find our nice forward fold. And with our next inhale, we lift into a nice tall mountain. Hands coming through. Taking a moment to find that nice, let's step the right foot back. Starting with warrior one. Adjusting that back foot if we need to so we can keep hips shifted forward. Maybe we're finding those strong warrior arms today. Think about sinking that front thigh till it's parallel to the earth. Let's shift the hips to the side as we open into warrior two. Pulling towards the back of the room and the front of the room at the same time. Inhaling to our reverse warrior. Nice stretch through that front rib cage. And as we exhale, we'll sink into our side angle. We can drop the front hand to the thigh, bring it to the floor, maybe use a block to support ourselves. Place the black hand on the hip, extend it overhead or even up by the ear. We'll return to our warrior two. And then straightening the front leg as we shift into our triangle. Shoulders stay nice and aligned. As we find that plane, you can gaze up at the hand, drop it behind the back if we'd like. Just keep our gaze out in front, wherever we need to go. Pressing equally into both feet here. Bring both hands down to the front of the mat. Finding a lunge if we're able, and then stepping into forward fold. Taking a moment to check in here. Release the head nice and heavy. Inhaling mountain. Stepping back with the left foot this time. Starting with the warrior one. Broad through the collarbones. Shoulder blades sinking. As we exhale, we'll twist into the warrior two. Keeping that back knee nice and soft. Inhaling to our reverse warrior. Holding here for a breath. Inhaling into that side angle. Again, knowing it can look different from either side, wherever you need it to go today. Long through the spine. Focusing on the breath, inhaling back to the warrior two. Sinking into the pose as we press into that front foot. And then straightening the leg. Again, shifting into triangle, stacking the shoulders. Both hands come down. Finding a lunge if we're able. And then stepping back into forward fold. So again, checking in here. Take a moment to go ahead and move to all fours. And if we need to scoot back on the mat a bit, we can. So we can sink into child's. Finding a nice release here. As we inhale, we'll press back up. Sweep the feet around. Go ahead and draw them out in front of the body. Starting with a seated tree, using the left leg folded in, placing that foot wherever we need to, sitting up tall. We'll inhale those arms overhead and gently hinge forward. Remember, we want to think about drawing the chest towards the knee. We feel some tightness in the low back. Think about sending the breath there, kneading it out. Drawing long through the crown of the head. Letting our inhale draw us forward, our exhale sink us into the pose. And then inhaling, as we lift, releasing that side, switching legs here. Again, finding your perfect placement for the foot. Sitting up on the sits bones, inhaling overhead, hinging forward. And just meeting ourselves wherever we are today. Not worried about one side having more flexibility than the other. With our next inhale, we lift back up. Exhale as we sink down. Take a moment to roll back onto the mat. You need to hook behind one leg or the other, or maybe you want to go into the ball and then just gently release down. The easiest way for you to get there. Right knee comes into chest. We'll move into our supine spinal twist, using the left hand to draw the right knee across the body. You can extend the right arm out, gazing out at the fingertips, keeping that shoulder on the mat. And then we'll inhale back to center. We'll bring the right hand to the knee, left hand to left hip, and then we'll gently open that right knee a bit. So flexing both feet here if we're able, opening through the hips. Nice opener here. And then the knee comes back to chest. Last nice hug. Exhaling it back out. We'll draw the left knee in. Breathing into that hip flexor. And then using the right hand to draw that knee across the body. Left hand goes out to the side, gazing out over that left shoulder. Long through the spine. Feeling ourselves open into the twist with our breath. We'll inhale the left knee back. Bring the left hand to the left knee. Right hand to right hip, and then gently opening that left leg. Again, flexing both feet, letting gravity create some space in our hips. And we'll bring the knee back into the chest. One last hug. Exhaling it out. And then finding our final relaxation. So just taking as long as you would like here. Maybe your Savasana.